I'll just bet that you never expected that for the second week in the row, we would be sitting in the same liminal basement together.
Technically, because we skipped last week. It is 2 weekends in a row.
I mean, I wasn't going to tell, but thanks for exposing us. Speaking of owning up to mistakes, I did not post last week, and I was supposed to. It was my job.
What a great example of owning up to mistakes.
Listen,
which she did intentionally, so we could cover it this week.
Yeah.
Uncovered dish.
Yeah. And I didn't tell her that I dropped the ball until we were live, so that she had no choice but to forgive me.
I truly had no idea.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We're busy. We got stuff going on.
We do have a fair amount of shit going on.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if you can tell from my very crunchy attire, but it's 95 degrees outside in Columbus,
I'm
Ohio.
in like a little crop top and my flowy pants.
Yeah. Some might say paper bag pants.
Yes, these are, yes.
On trend. Trend alert.
Oh,
paper bag pants.
Clearance pants from Nordstrom.
Yeah, take me to Nordy's.
I'm very trendy. So, yes, I love that. I love that for you. Mm-hmm. We're keeping it really cash, and I realize when we do live dishes, we don't spend a lot of time on our outfits, and I think that's wise.
You know what? That's fine with me, because you're getting what you're going to get tonight, and that is no bra. I was briefly debating whether or not I was going to say that, and then it just came out. So
no bra is the way to go. All the time, if you can.
This is actually very much like what you're going to get backstage with me.
Yeah.
So just let that sink in. Like, you're getting a little bit of the VIP experience. This is the meet and greet.
Yes. This is the, you go backstage, and first of all, this is I would wear this exact outfit backstage.
Absolutely.
Because it's really easy to get this crop top off over whatever hair and makeup I have, which is the key.
Right. You peel off the lashes, you peel off the pasties.
Yeah. And then
untuck if that's what you like to do. Can't relate. Couldn't be me.
No. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but that's not us.
Some people can't get enough of it. I don't understand, but I tried it.
Wasn't for me. Never
looked back.
Yeah. It's a choice.
It's a bold choice.
But I always, whenever I was getting ready for a show, I'd always want to do button-downs so I could just, take them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
why don't we call them button-ups?
I think some people do.
Oh, button-ups. Yeah, some people do.
Weird, though. Ask your partner. If they say button-ups, leave them. Don't trust them.
Somebody do a poll. That's a throwback. Somebody do a poll in the chat. Is it one of the choice? No context. One of the choices is button down. The other choice is button up.
Yeah. I don't trust someone who says button ups, and I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
It might be a cultural difference regionally. Yeah. Anyways,
can I tell you? Not to completely alienate our audience of two, but you know what one of my favorite interview questions is?
What?
Tell me about a time where you messed up, and what did you do about it?
Oh, interview, not a fireside chat with Oprah, but a job interview?
No, I'm not just talking about cruising. Yeah, like a job interview, you know?
Yeah.
Because, everyone makes mistakes, right? And so we don't want to pretend that that's not going to happen for anybody. But, what are you going to do about it?
But here's the thing about that, is I feel like it's one of those questions, all interview questions, where it's just I am a Scorpio. I know my real answer, which is I'm going to hold a blood grudge.
Scorched earth.
But no.
They were never seen again.
Not William Tecumseh Sherman style. I'm not going to burn it all down, okay? Shout out to a reference for William Tecumseh Sherman. Anyone in the chat? No.
Topical?
Topical. I am reading an article about the Civil War and the use of maps. So... shoot. And no viewers.
Yeah.
Anyways... So, no. I will solve it, and I will be, highly collaborative with the person. And I may, defer to them, but if they're the one that, I think messed up, blood grudge. It will come back to haunt you. 2 years later, if someone's like, hey, do you think they should be eligible for a promotion? I'm going to be like, ooh. I have some concerns with that. I hold on to it.
So it's the movie Carrie, basically.
And here's the thing about it is I'm just don't... Oh, you know what it is? It's not if someone makes an honest mistake. What drives me crazy is when people come for people in mean ways. And I can't let that go.
Yeah,
because for me...
Petty malicious behavior.
Oh, super petty and malicious. Knowing, and especially I'm going to be just really honest. People with less layers of power and control in a system, and people come for them, and I just lose it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Just unnecessary.
It is unnecessary. It's disrespectful.
Yeah. It's an abuse of power, and I don't particularly care for that.
But I don't say that in the interview.
No,
like, oh
no,
my God,
no.
I'm all about humility and just moving forward and how can we figure it out? And I'm highly collaborative.
Well, I don't think you have to be disingenuous in those moments, right? Like, it's really about truly leaving the door open for, like, you're gonna, if nothing else, to be practical, you're gonna see that person somewhere.
Yeah.
Either, somewhere else at work or at a networking event, or maybe someone who knows, like, you just don't want to have to navigate all of that. There's only so many people you can block. That's true.
Right? That's true. Though, Eileen always runs into people I block at networking events.
That's true. And also, as we've discussed just on the last episode, don't date New in Columbus and then go to Slammers. Just don't do it.
No, I think that's wise.
Because you're going to see your exes. And it's going to be all of them. And they're all best friends now.
It does seem to be that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
They all found themselves in the same yoga retreat.
Girl.
And then they did #VanLife.
Deep cuts.
And then it didn't work.
Deep cuts on the dish.
Yeah, totally.
Deep, ruthless, personal cuts.
If you know, you know.
So I was going through something a couple months ago, and I was like, oh my God, my yoga studio has a yoga retreat in Costa Rica. And it was that moment where I looked up the yoga retreat where I knew I was unwell. And I needed to take some PTO because I was like, oh, girl, you're not going to become a yoga retreat in Costa Rica, white woman. You cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot.
I would love it if you just ended up at the Goop conference with Gwyneth Paltrow and you're the only one who's not on board and you just are like wide-eyed with panic, like just no one else, like, where are the jade eggs going?
Oh my God. I saw some article.
Speaking of deep cuts.
Yeah, speaking of yeast infections.
You know who I have it out for? Gwyneth Paltrow, because I never thought at this stage in her life and her success in her career that she would be running like a multi-million-dollar snake oil company. It's just not what I expected.
I think the term lifestyle brand is terrifying.
Yeah, no, it's
just terrifying.
That's a red flag right there.
My sister has this candle, and she won't mind that I'm saying this. She's not watching. She's never watched the show.
Jen, get
Deep
in the
cuts.
chat.
So my sister, I went to visit my sister at Christmas. Like a human.
Like a sibling, yeah, like you do.
And she had this candle, and I don't think I realized how expensive this particular brand of candle was, and it's like sweeping white suburban America right now. Or it was. I don't know. And and it has like multiple wicks, and it's really nice, and I was like, oh, this is a really nice candle. Like, I kind of like it.
Like a contemporary woodwick candle.
Yes!
Remember the woodwick
remember
candles?
Woodwick? We had a woodwick candle.
I've got one in that room right there. From 10 years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't light anymore.
From Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah. It's like one of those. So, I did not realize how expensive this candle was. And like later, I left and I looked it up, and it was like a $150 fucking candle. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, no, it was a gift. It was a gift. And I'm like, I don't care. Return it and buy like 4 cars.
$150 candle?
And like, just like, not even a candle that has like cool shit in it. You know, sometimes when you buy wax and it melts down and there's little like shit in it, like little metal figurines and shit.
I just wish that I had the disposable to just put something in my bathroom, you know?
Right.
I'm not going out in the house in it.
No.
It's not
in your
fulfilling
house.
my basic human needs.
You actually could bring it out of the house for people to just carry it.
I spent a pretty penny on this candle. I'm going to show it off.
And she tried to justify it by saying it was a gift, and I was like, that's irrelevant. The fact that someone got you this so casually just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. So we're not above judging people. That's what we're learning tonight.
No, I spend a fair amount at Penn and Beach on candles, but not that much.
Yeah. Not that much. I just, like, I want my candle to tell a story.
Yeah.
Like Freshly Fucked Grave.
That's a great candle.
Whomst we stan. If you don't know, that's a gift that Brooke gave me on a couple live dishes ago.
Yeah, it was for a birthday, and I beat Joseph for best gift. Sorry, Joseph! Nobody knows what you got, Eileen!
Not
because you didn't come on the dish!
But no mistakes detected.
But it is a
But it is.
Just say it. It's really not. Also, Joseph, I forever, wherever he is, if he is watching, I took, when we went out to dinner together, I had him pay and did not realize it was his 30th birthday the entire dinner. So he is in perpetuity winning.
Nice.
Compared to me. I have lost forever for our whole lives and friendship.
Yeah.
Fucked up on that.
It's okay.
Sorry, Joseph. Speaking of accountability.
Speaking of accountability. Now, I'm just pulling this out of thin air. Like, I don't have a real specific example. But let's say maybe your partner decides that they're gonna like refinish some shelves indoors, and it's just gonna fill the house with the smell of wood stain. I think that the best thing to do is to have developed the kind of like close communicative relationship where you can like process through that live on the dish.
In the moment.
Yeah. Not saying that did happen today.
I am
backstage. We have my partner. No.
I am currently high from shelf staining, so I'm actually bummed because her partner did say, no, it's not at the levels you can get high, which felt disrespectful. Like, if you're gonna do it.
I was pretty upset about it to start, and then after about 15 minutes.
Yeah, you
for
mellowed
some
right
reason,
out.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, and you don't know what day it is.
Yeah, I'm losing long tracks of time, and I love that. What a clear chime.
That was really nice.
What a crystal bell that was.
So let's talk accountability and mistakes.
I think we should.
Love it. And I'm not really, I'm not into the Zodiac.
Oh.
I don't know anything about it, right?
Go on.
But I went to a Zodiac show at #Comedy Theater this past Friday with Angie Healy. She was amazing. And if you want to see Angie Healy and I together when we open for Deanne Smith this Friday at #Comedy Theater, please get your tickets. The link's in my Instagram, please and thank you. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, Scorpios really get a bad rap when it comes to... The reason I wanted to talk about this is because when it comes to making mistakes, Scorpios get a really bad rap. And it's accurate. I'm not disagreeing with you on it.
No, I'm not here to make sweeping generalizations about people who have any of their, like, the sun in any of their signs, right? Like, first of all, there's enough room for all of us.
Yeah.
Let's just start there.
Love that.
Second of all, they're so interpretive. You can tell the story so many different ways. 100%. Like, it's always this black and white version of, like, yeah, they're vindictive, and once you cross them, like, you'll never be forgiven.
Right.
And they'll hold on to something forever. And it's like, no, I just think that they hold really fast to their value system. And they just cut really, like, quickly to the core of the matter. And they're like, hey, I feel like there's been something of a rupture. Or, like, there's a fundamental misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That we need to address. And, Brooke, would you say, I want to give you an opportunity to weigh in live on the scene. Would you say that it's not just the fact that somebody did something that you find objectionable, because if they talk to you about it and they're direct, there's a path forward, right?
Yeah.
It's the, like, if you do something that is objectionable and then they try to hide it.
Oh, I'm so obfuscating, and it sends me through the fucking roof.
Or they minimize.
Yeah.
They try to tell you it's not a big deal. Or worse things, right? Like they gaslight you, they stonewall you, any of those behaviors. That generally is not going to be received well.
Yeah, and I think that's I think that's right, because I think for me, I get frustrated, of course, when people around me disappoint me, like anybody else. When I feel like there's malicious intent behind it or something like that, it's really difficult for me to get past it.
Yeah,
it is. And it doesn't mean I like cut someone out, but like they just kind of move in my ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I have a really vulnerable moment, they might not be the person I call.
Right.
And by the way, they're probably thrilled. They're probably like, girl, thank God she didn't call. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, depends on the person, but like, I think where you and I are very similar, I think, is that it's a trust relationship is a hard-won thing, right? Like it takes a fair amount of vulnerability, and once we get there, it's something we rely on. 100%. Where I think you and I are different is like, you will hold very fast to that boundary, and I will be like, I will try to excuse and give them 5 more chances before it's really an issue. And I've worked on that. I think I've worked on that.
Yeah.
I have some more clarity there. But, I will continue to reach out because I'll internalize it. And I'll be like, well, maybe I didn't express it in the right way.
You do that. And but also, like, there is incredible value in that because you are acknowledging the complexity of people. Right?
I think it takes both, right? Like both approaches are not right or wrong.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, you'll mellow out when you get older, and I'm like,
you're like still waiting.
I have. No, I have. I actually have. I saw someone who, when I say we have completely different value systems,
Gemini. I'm just kidding.
I fucking know. Anyway, sorry, no, we don't say that.
What sign is that?
What sign is that? She's homophobic.
Oh, well, that's...
So, I don't know what her sign is, but that's irrelevant.
So we don't like her, objectively, is what I'm hearing.
And I saw her at an event in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And her energy literally physically repels me. Like, do you ever have those people?
Yeah.
And...
Not many, but some.
Unfortunately, because she's connected to some friends in my hometown, she is under the false impression that we are friends. Like, I don't even have her number.
Friends by association.
Right. But, like, came up to my partner, assumed a bunch of things. And it's like, well, you must know me. I was like, oh, honey, no. Like, no, we don't know. But it was actually a really interesting moment because I was like, wow, I'm in a different space right now. The homophobic girl, can I tell you the homophobic shit she said once? It's so funny. Okay.
Please do.
So she said, and I hope she's not watching, but if she is, a great moment.
We're not calling people out by name. She'll never know.
We surely are. But also, who else would say this? Anyways.
If she started following Covered Dish, I'd be thrilled.
Oh my God, I know. Welcome. I'm not gonna say her name. So she's like, gay people have privilege, and I was like, I'm listening.
Okay.
And she's like, if you live in a, by the way, like super Catholic, super sheltered, everything. If you live in a dorm that's single sex in college, you can live with your partner. And I was like, okay, like that is a loophole to access to cohabitation likely before it would be a thing. That's totally fair.
Provided you do it in secret and the administration doesn't find out, and you're also anyone else who knows on your floor could like rat you out at any moment.
So you're in like a blackmail ripe situation. But then she goes, and frankly, I would be so uncomfortable if I had a lesbian roommate because they would hit on me. And I would not feel comfortable because they'd obviously, the implication was be attracted to me. Mm-hmm. And then I said, there's no way in hell I would be attracted to you. Which wasn't ideal. But she's not my type.
Yeah. That argument, unfortunately, is all too common. And it's, back in the day we used to say, oh, don't flatter yourself and move on, right? Like that's kind of the response. But the issue is that people think that every gay person is just like waiting to pounce on them, which is like, for what?
Actually, we don't want to pounce. We just want to make biscuits.
Biscuits. We don't want those seashells in your bathroom.
No, girl, no.
We don't want the live, laugh, love sign that's hanging in your living room.
No, we don't want God's also in this kitchen. I'm never alone sign. Whatever the fuck it is.
I've never heard that before.
I made it up.
It repulses me.
I know, but doesn't it sound like it's something you'd find at TJ Maxx?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And you know what? We here at Covered Dish, and we don't speak for the queer community, but we do in this moment, we have a little thing you may not have heard of. It's called inner beauty. And style. And I respect myself too much to, throw my hat in the ring with any homophobe anymore. There was a time where my self-respect was that low. When I was like 18, 19.
Girl, we've all been there.
Girl, it's a slippery slope.
Whatever. I walked out of the bar that day. That was now almost 10 years ago. And it was in a town where Uber hadn't happened yet. So I waited for a taxi for an hour.
An hour?
Instead of going back into the bar and having a beverage with this person. Because that's how strongly I feel about... it was 10 years ago. Maybe I was whatever. But I think about it now and I'm like, what would I have done? What would I have done had I come into this situation now? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I would have done the same thing, but Uber's around. And I would have gotten home sooner. Like, there's also things where it's like, I think you can be considered overdramatic, you can consider this, and there's always ways to exit, right? But I can put a handful of times on my, there's less than a handful of times where I'm like, I have walked out, I have stormed out, and I'm like, man, all of those times, I stand by it. You know what I mean? And I think it's like...
Yeah.
Accountability to self also, in terms of like, also stand in your truth. And if that's your truth, stand in it. And like, time will heal so much, time will soften so much, but it doesn't change the validity of the moment.
Yeah. I can think of a time where I stormed out and it was like...
Oh my God, you've stormed out.
Yeah, I can think of a time where I stormed out and it was because I was like so disappointed and ashamed with myself, and I deflected so hard that, yeah, it's not fun. I don't recommend it.
No.
I mean, I think we've moved on since that point. By we, I do mean me.
I'm like, every time I've stormed out, I stand by it. I'm like,
I wish I could say that was mine, but that's somebody else. But yeah, I mean, there's been a time where I deflected so hard that I just like projected.
Yeah.
Deflected and projected.
I will say when it comes to accountability and mistakes, one of the things I love about you is, I don't know what it is about you, because you don't have that in your upbringing, because you're in the Midwest, and it's just
there was no conflict.
Exactly.
There was no open conflict.
But like every time I've had a conflict with you, and one of us has had to own a mistake, I don't know. I just feel like there is, and maybe it's the trust capital we've built from all the other previous things. But I'm like, we don't have the no one owns their shit. In fact, I think actually, whenever we get in a disagreement, usually it's like both of us are like, but it's me. Like, and I'm like, maybe that's something around it. I don't know, but. Yeah. I think there's always, it's always gray. It's never black and white. So I always appreciate relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, whatever, where even if I was the most at fault, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can say, I'm sorry, and the other person, I'm owning this moment, and the other person can be like, hey, you know what? I should have been blank, blank, blank. I'm involved in this too. Let me tell you the reason why. 2 viewers. Stay with me. All right. For those later.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've met my old English bulldog, Penelope.
We've met. Love her. We still live together.
In an unrelated...
Legends say.
Oh.
She used to breathe heavily under my door.
Just like a raptor. And for a reason that involved my partner and a sacrifice for the family for my partner.
Yeah. I
had to bring Penny up a flight of very steep stairs in a 130-year-old house this past weekend.
So, are we talking about like a fireman's carry? What was the maneuver?
Well, so
how did you do that?
In her leash and in her harness, because she can't wear a collar because she's got a sensitive neck.
Yeah.
So I hoisted her under her front legs from behind. And carried her up, but if you ever have lifted up Penny, you know she like freaks out and just goes, right, like Frankenstein.
She doesn't know what's happening, yeah.
She surely doesn't, and I carried her up the stairs, and then to get her down, I also carried her in a way down the stairs, halfway, all the way down the stairs, and I fucked up my back real bad carrying Penny up the stairs.
Oh, no.
75 pounds of pure loaf.
Yeah.
But I fucked up in the prep for that and didn't offer that. We really needed to get her away from a situation, and it was the right call. But in owning it with my partner, like, I was just like, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, I own this. I should have done this sooner. I should have done X, Y, Z. And it was actually really great because she was just like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, there's no accountability on your end. You were very clear. You know what I mean? And it's also like, that was all me. Like, you're just kind of like,
yeah.
Well, how about them apples? And that's also incredibly humbling.
Right. Humbling is the word, and you have to sit with it. You have to sit in your own squid in its own ink. You ever had squid in its own ink soup?
No, but that's how I felt.
It looks exactly how you would think it looks.
Oh, that feels so like depressing.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like, hasn't this animal that we're eating suffered enough indignities?
I struggle so much. So I love seafood. Obviously, it's like the only thing I eat as far as like anything.
We're about to eat it right after this.
And yes!
Yeah, I'm cooking tonight.
Anything that isn't vegetables or legumes, it's usually fish. And I'm really struggling emotionally.
Dinner's on the table.
I'm really struggling emotionally with eating octopus, and I would just like to know if anyone else is struggling in the chat.
I would love for the chat to chime in on this one because I don't struggle at all. I love the texture. I love the texture.
Like a charred octopus.
I love the taste.
Oh, yeah.
I love the sauces that people like put on it on a nice bed of greens. It's just like chewy, but just in the right way.
Oh no, they're so smart. They're so smart. They could use tools.
Well, I don't think about all that.
I know, but it's really hard.
Yeah,
because I don't eat animals.
Yeah,
because they're like, pigs are fucking sentient. Like, I fucking cannot eat a pig.
Yeah. Well, you eat the fish.
I can eat the fish because they're dumb. And they're just like...
I was thinking it, but you said...
No, they're dumb as fuck, yeah. But when it comes to octopus, I struggle. But
they punch fish because they're frustrated.
Yeah, they go through so much.
That's a smart... I can relate to that.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I can't relate to having a beak. But is that squid?
No, they also have...
octopi.
They have, they have...
Yeah, so...
I really struggle emotionally, spiritually, physically. We lost a follower because of that, so that's pretty great. We lost a viewer. But anyways...
Because of eating octopus?
Well, someone dropped, yeah.
Oh, listen, when you have 2 viewers and somebody leaves, you notice.
You feel it, and they're like, fuck this, I love octopus! I am here for only pro-octopus eating chats only.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this, this channel is I don't think we're going to end up at the tabloids anytime soon.
I ate octopus last night. Full confession. Accountability.
I love that.
It's so good.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you for allowing us to hold that together.
Yeah, I'm struggling on air.
Yeah. Here's what I would say, and I'm not an expert, but I'm just figuring this all out. Like I'm just flying around the sun like all of us, okay? That was such a stupid thing to say. That was such a stupid thing to say.
I loved it.
Let's pivot back to advice. So, if somebody does you wrong or you do somebody wrong, I just think that we should try to have a holding space for finding our way back to equilibrium, back to forgiveness.
Yeah.
And it's like just allow people to be imperfect, and you might not solve it in one go, in one sitting, but you might find your way back. And it's like, if you are feeling upset and vindictive, then maybe just wait to send an email.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk about it right away.
I loved that. And I just wanted to touch you because I can't when we're on the dish all the time. So
but
I
you can
felt
now.
that. I know. But I love that. And I think my religious trauma from my extreme Catholic upbringing, which is, I don't like the word trauma, but it's accurate there, really made me lose a word that I think I love. And it's grace. And I didn't use that word for decades. I'm not joking. I didn't use that word for decades. And recently a mentor has brought it up to me. And my first instinct is like, ugh, because I have the religious connotation. And I'm like, what if I remove the religious connotation to that word and give myself grace? But more importantly, and I think there's a lot of conversation like, give yourself grace and forgive yourself. And I'm like, yeah, forgive other people and give grace to other people. Because I think there's a focus on self. Mm-hmm. And we're all trying to figure out how others can accommodate us, not accommodate the ADA, which I am very pro Americans with Disabilities Act and all the extensions of. So that's not what I'm talking about. We're always expecting others in our relationships to accommodate us, and I think about that with my hours in my life where I'm like, hey, I'm working till 11 p.m. So if you want to talk to me 11 p.m., it's like, no, that's disrespectful. I'll call you on my break at 5. So I think there's this energy around grace, and I'm feeling that word right now, but I'm trying to figure out how to use it in a way that doesn't have the religious connotation.
Yeah, I even think you touched on something, which was forgiveness, and how we're focused a lot on self-care and forgiveness of self, which is very important.
It is.
But it's, a lot of times I'll see stuff on Instagram and TikTok that it's just if people aren't serving you in your life, then maybe they don't, God. People, being in your life is not it's a privilege, right? And I think both can be true.
Yes. Okay. You got me back.
Yeah. Both can be true. I think that it takes a lot for us to get to a point of forgiveness, but ultimately, does it really cost us anything? No. It takes work to get there, but it doesn't really cost us anything. Yeah,
and I think we gain so much from it in so many other ways. I have forgiven my sister for having a $150 candle, and I'm hoping I get one for Christmas. So
let's all hope we get a $150 candle from Brooke's sister this Christmas.
Yes! Girl, manifest that shit! That's on TikTok too. Anyways.
It's on my vision board at least 5 times.
Y'all have been absolutely delightful. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry I went on my octopus rant, but I will really miss in-person dish. This is our last one.
Hey, Brooke, I forgive you.
Bye, y'all.
See you next time. Bye.